know about the topic that's been making waves lately? It is about the US and Iran signing the agreement to take a peace together.
So they have made peace?
Well, want to know about it next? Check it out!
This conflict began when tension between the United States, Israel, and Iran escalated into an open confrontation. In response to the attack it suffered, Iran took the strategic step of closing the Strait of Hormuz.
What's happening here right now, Iran is having an impact in the Middle East and beyond. To understand why so many countries are affected by the US-Israel war with Iran, we need to look at some maps.
The relationship between the US and Iran hasn't always sounded like this.
An axis of evil.
Unprecedented, crippling sanctions on Iran.
Iran has been a very dangerous player. They're a nation of terror.
انشاءالله به توفیق الهی دشمن رو به زانو در خواهیم آورد.
You become so strained.
And how does that link to what's happening in Iran today?
Oil was discovered in southwest of the country on the global stage, and
that we are losing control of the situation. Nuclear materials, but they have the material for 16 nuclear against nuclear weapons. The new supreme leader, President Trump, is really stuck, but he thrives in chaos.
And that type of war that's taking place now in Iran, who has two
standing has been Iran. Here's what he said.
Once you get it done.
The Strait of Hormuz saying no vessel.
Nuclear program was fired at
He signed off on this comes of it, and he was at
John Sudworth.
Hezbollah orders that innocent attack is martyred here.
Social media and across.
Shabazz Sharif, America.
Shabazz Sharif said Friday so that they.
So why the Strait of Hormuz is so important? Because it is a major route for global energy trade. About 20% of the world oil and gas supply passes through this region every day. Its mapped location connecting the Persian Gulf to international market makes the Strait of Hormuz one of the most vital points in the global economy. Consequently, when Iran closed the strait, the impact was felt not only by countries in the Middle East, but also by the global economy. Candy energy price could rise, supply chains could be disrupted, and concern about global market stability could increase.
After the US and Iran war broke out in late February 2026, the road to peace wasn't as smooth as you think. Late March, Nafisa delivered a 15-point US proposal demanding to Iran to end its nuclear program, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and restricting Iran's support for armed groups like Hezbollah. Iran immediately rejected it, feeling like Iran rejected it as basically a surrender deal in disguise. Iran fired back with its own 5 points, demanding an end to attacks, war operations, and recognition of sovereignty over Strait of Hormuz. The US rejected that too. Tensions peaked in early April when Trump threatened to destroy Iran's infrastructure if no deal came soon. Luckily, Pakistan and Qatar stepped in as mediators, and despite a last-minute escalation in Lebanon, both sides finally signed an agreement called Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding in Switzerland on June 14 to 15, 2026. The framework for a 60-day ceasefire, while they keeping negotiating the remaining hot-button issues, including the nuclear questions, which we'll get into next. One of the most important parts of the US and Iran is the agreement of the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Under the agreement, Iran agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz for commercial shipping for the 60 days. During this period, commercial ships can pass without paying transit fees. Iran also agreed to improve the maritime safety by clearing the sea miners, while the United States agreed to gradually remove its naval blockade. As a result, commercial ships and oil tankers began using the strait again, helping stabilize global oil supply.
applies and reducing pressure on energy prices. However, this is only a temporary agreement, so it's a long-term success. Depends on the outcome of the next round of the negotiation. Thank you.
One of the key points of the agreement is the nuclear issue. Iran committed that it will not develop or acquire any nuclear weapons. As part of this commitment, Iran agreed to reduce the existing enrichment level of its uranium to be processed to downblending. This means that the highly enriched uranium will be converted into a lower enriched form that cannot easily be used as a nuclear weapon. The entire process will be monitored and verified by the International Atomic Energy Agency to ensure that Iran complies with the agreement. However, this agreement was only still a framework, not a final deal. Many technical details such as the amount of the uranium to be downblended, inspections, producers and the implementation timeline are still under negotiations. Both parties have to agree that on the 60-day period of time to finalize these details before the agreement can be fully implemented. This step is intended to build trust, promote transparency, and reduce the concern about the Iran and the nuclear programs.
So now, as soon the Islamabad MOU was signed, the global reaction was anything but simple. In the Gulf region half, options immediately split into 3 different camps. And I will give you a video that will 1, 2, 3.
Europe is staring at yet another energy crisis, one with echoes of the Ukraine war. But this time, the war is not on the continent, it's here in the Middle East. Now, Europe buys some of its oil and liquefied natural gas from the region, but producers here depend on the Strait of Hormuz to ship their exports.
First, we have the Arabian taking the most focused and critical stage. Abu Dhabi openly demand the Iran pay reparation for blocking the Strait of Hormuz. They argue the international relations shipping lane should be opened unconditionally. No political string attached. Second, Saudi Arabia chose a safer, more natural route. Riyadh's response was very general and diplomatic, basically saying they welcome any more towards stability without taking a hard public stance on the specific terms. Meanwhile, the third camp, Oman, show a much softer, pro-Iran leaning as they are desperate to see the tension right in their backyard finally cool down.
You see that video, right? From that video, I have a question that I will ask to you guys. Who is the most anxious player in this role? The answer is, Israel country. Why I tell that? Because if I took from the POV, Tel Aviv POV, concerned that Tel Aviv is highly concerned about the ceasefire clauses linked to Hezbollah in Lebanon. For Israel, easing the military pressure on Iran right now means giving Hezbollah the breathing room they need to regroup on Israel's modern border.
On the global stage, however, the European trio, the UK, France, and Germany, breathed a massive sigh of relief. For Europe, the Islamabad MOU is a crucial short-term win. Their energy supply is safe again, and the risk of an all-out war in the Middle East has been paused.
So, are these mixed reaction just about immediate security, or is there a bigger game of global power to balancing at this play? To break that down through the lens of international relations, my friend Anin will mention it about that. So Anin right there will be explain about the neoliberalism analysis. So Anin, time is yours.
From neoliberalist lens, this war is really about shifting the balancing of power. The US tried because the Iran nuclear program was seen as a threat, but the truth is, once Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the world realized that Iran has a leverage power in here. This is what we call a security dilemma. And the more one side tries to make itself secure, and the other side, the more threatened the other side feels, like the cycle just keeps spinning. On the other side, there's a clear pattern of the economic statecraft. The US didn't just rely on a bilateral phase, but it combined sanctions with economic incentive in here, such as $300 billion in the recruitment funds of Iran, its complex, classic carrot, and the state. Its economy as a very good shape to keep Iran cooperative. But this is still just an initial framework because it's only 60-day window to work out the most sensitive details and including the nuclear issue. So the question is, will this 60-day turn into lasting peace or a pause before the next escalation?
So yeah, from our video always mentioned about the agreement between US, Iran, and the conflict itself. Yeah, we hope that agreement will maintain and sustain with to control the peace all over the world, because we don't want to have any war in this world again. So hopefully the conflict between US, Iran, and also Israel will be ended in peace, because at the end, peace is number one. So yeah, and hopefully our video will have a good knowledge for all of you guys. Yeah, so I will give you to all my members. Let's go.
Thank you for watching.